All right, let's open up a big can of worms in this video. This is probably going to go against the grain of most things that you may have heard in other videos or in other places on the internet. Let's go ahead and do this. It's Clay with modernlove.life, and that was kind of a big intro, but I mean it sincerely because there is a lot of information out there on the internet that says, hey, you're not okay as the person that you are. You have to hide your intentions. You have to hide your feelings. You have to suppress your feelings. You have to pretend like you don't care when it comes to relationships in general or things with your ex and breakups. And there's this misconception that, you have to put on this mask. You have to put on this performance. You have to be someone other than who you are in order to get the relationship that you want. And I want to tell you that I'm gonna go against that today. You may have seen this from other videos on the internet or maybe in other places here or there, but there's a lot of advice that says, hey, if you're a guy, women want to be with an alpha male, therefore you have to squash your neediness and suppress it and make it seem like you don't care. If you're a woman, men don't want to be with a woman who's always there, so you have to be hard to get. He has to earn your affection and all of that sort of stuff. And, maybe there's some truth to that, but people are going about this sort of stuff the wrong way. It's simply saying like, okay, well, if women like this kind of man, then how can I take on the behaviors of that kind of man? Or if men like this kind of women, how can I take on the things that a woman like that does? And here we are, we're basically saying like, okay, yeah, I like a certain, basketball player of some sort. I want to be able to play basketball like he does. So if I just get the same clothes that he wears and the same shoes that he has and the same, sweatband that he has and all that stuff, then I'll be able to play basketball as good as he does. No, it obviously doesn't work that way, right? It's not going to work that way. I'm 5'8". I'm never going to be able to jump as high as some basketball player or play as well as them or anything like that. It's not because I'm not wearing the right clothes or the right sneakers or the right whatever. It's because of some much more fundamental things. Now, fortunately, I can't change my genetics. I can't change how tall I am or anything like that. But fortunately, when it comes to most things relationship-wise, you are in a great deal of control. So rather than sort of reverse engineering this and say, oh, look at that, she has all the men wrapped around her little finger here and she's not always available, therefore I should not always be available. But actually look at this a little bit differently and say, oh, she's not available because she's investing her energy into something that's valuable and important for her. She's alive. She actually has important things in her life. What if I was alive? What if I actually had important things in my life? What if I was living into my values and going after them 100%? Might I happen to also be a little bit less available? Might that also get men interested? Maybe it's the not being available part. Maybe it's the being impassioned because you actually have things going on worthwhile in your life. Maybe it's because of something else. But when you actually start to deal with this at a more fundamental level, you're going to start to get better results. Bringing back to the main topic here, people say, hide your intention. Don't let your ex know that you want him back. Make it seem like you don't care. Make it seem like you're aloof. Make it seem like you're hard to get. Make it seem like you could care less. Make it seem like you've got dates booked up for the rest of the week, for the rest of the month, whatever. And that's fine if that's actually how you feel and that's actually a truthful statement about what's going on for you. But if it's not true, you don't have to fake it. You really don't. Now, there's this distinction between good vulnerability and bad vulnerability, or positive vulnerability and negative vulnerability. But, there's obviously negative vulnerability that you could share with your partner or your ex or anyone else. And that's vulnerability that could very well be transparent and vulnerable, but it makes them responsible for your emotional state. Probably what the begging and pleading looked like when you went through your breakup with your ex. I know it's what the begging and pleading looked like on my side. And it wouldn't surprise me if it's what it looked like on your side as well too. So, if you do the whole begging and pleading, you can't do this. I don't know how I'm going to live without you. How could you end up leaving us like this and just getting, abandoning all of our dreams that we've had together? It's really hard for me to fake this. That's negative vulnerability, right? It makes someone else responsible for your feelings. It makes someone else responsible for how you feel. And that doesn't feel good for other people to hear. It doesn't feel good for your partner to hear. However, real, genuine, positive vulnerability is something that feels good for your partner to hear. It's something that actually allows the two of you to feel closer because you're both more human. These are things like, I'll be honest with you, the past couple of weeks since our breakup have been kind of hard. I've been trying to do the best that I can, but there are times when the feelings still get to me. How have you been holding up? Those are times when it's like, okay, I'm taking responsibility for my own emotional state. I'm just sharing it with you. I'm just sharing with you what's going on with me. And that doesn't come across the same way. It actually has the capacity to build a stronger emotional connection. It has the capacity to actually create more bonding and more closeness. I'm trying to get better about this on this YouTube channel. What I'm trying to share more of my own vulnerability. Like oftentimes I just assumed you guys don't care about me as a person and you just want some tips or some advice or something like that. And I do try to do that, but I'm trying to get better about actually sharing my own experiences just so that you can see that, hey, it's totally okay to not have it all together. It's totally okay to not have everything figured out, because that's the way we all are. That's the way we all are. We're all experiencing these sorts of things, and the more vulnerable you are in a positive way by taking responsibility for what's going on in your life, the more other people can see themselves in you and feel closer to you. Like that whole thing with me and my daughter, right? Like, I don't want to be the kind of parent that says, hey, you're good, hey, you're bad. Like, again, who am I to make that kind of judgment? Who am I to say you're good or bad? Like, it's all relative. All I can say is, hey, I don't like it when you did this, or hey, I really liked it when you did that. And sure, we can go ahead and do that. But if I'm going to say, yeah, you're good because of this, you're bad because of that, stop being bad, it's not helpful. It's just going to cause her to get some sort of complex or something, maybe. I don't know. But I'm just trying to figure this whole parenting thing out. I only have one kid. She's 3 years old, and I'm still learning as I go. That's how you do it when you're a parent. Anyway, the truth is you can be vulnerable whenever you want to be with your ex. Even if the two of you broke up yesterday, even if the two of you aren't on good terms now, you can be vulnerable now, but you have to do it in a way that takes responsibility for it. You have to do it in a way that takes ownership for it. You have to do it in a way that actually sets the two of you up to have a better emotional connection. And if that's something that you'd like some help with, we do have a Facebook group called Embodied Love. It's totally free to join. I post some videos in there maybe about once a week or so, where we just kind of talk and we connect about things, and we just talk about emotional stuff, building better interactions, being more in alignment with who you are and what's going on with you. If you'd like to join the Embodied Love Facebook group, you can find it down below in the description box. Check it out. Again, it's totally free. Anyway, take care, and I'll talk to you in the next video.